What's up, Aquarius? Welcome to your July 2020 reading. This is going to be for you, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Definitely check out your other signs because this is not going to resonate with all of you guys, okay? If you are new, what's up? Hello, my name is Danny. If you are returning, thank you for coming back. I'm so excited to do this. All right, Aquarius. Let's get into this. So last month, I feel like we talked about you guys kind of doing a lot of this, a lot of oscillating between what you want, what you think you should have, what you think you should do. There was a lot that was up in the air, and to be honest with you, this month kind of puts you in the same place. Now, you've got the Two of Pentacles as the unseen energy, so this is what is influencing everything, right? And this is a person who's going back and forth on something, right? Pentacles are all about what we value, but this person can't seem to land or ground whatever it is going on. They've been juggling this thing back and forth, and eventually they're going to get kicked over by the waves if they don't end up falling beforehand, right? So this is really about trying to make a decision, trying to find balance, trying to find, balance and stability in something, right? There may be something around you guys that you've been stuck on for quite some time. We've got the Eight of Swords underneath that. That is a stuck energy that we stick ourselves in. This is when we go into that analysis paralysis, overthinking to the point where what do we even think in the first place anymore, right? So I still see that you guys are definitely kind of in that place of, especially in terms of relationships. I will say some of you guys are dealing with someone who it feels like sometimes they're hot and sometimes they're cold. And I feel like you don't really even know what to do with that. And even though I will say, by the way that these cards are laid out and the cards that are presenting themselves, it feels to you like love is a very big priority. Of course, we are in Cancer season, so everyone's feeling a little bit more emotional, right? It actually really isn't the priority. The priority really is you. And so if we're talking about what's going on this month, we've got the Mercury retrograde. So of course we're kind of all up in our head. There is this energy of revisiting, revising, re-editing, reviewing, reading all the things that have gone on, right? So Mercury retrogrades, to me, even though they're annoying to a lot of people and to me too, a lot of it is about getting a second chance to kind of revisit something that needs maybe our attention again, right? With that being said, also Mars is now back into Aries, which for you guys will be impacting your third house, which is like Gemini energy. So that's facts and education and the mind and information, right? Gemini is ruled by the planet of Mercury. So anyways, the next 6 months, there is a lot of you guys kind of questioning information and what you feel and think to be true and getting down to the fact of the matter of things, right? That's going to be a really big thing for you guys. Also, we are in Cancer season, which touches your 6th house, which is all about work and service and solitude and your routines. And so honestly, I think a lot of that's what this month is really about, more in terms of your priorities, more of your working and your routines. Your health is really big on here, not just physical health, but a lot to do with mental health, how you are nurturing and taking care of yourself in that type of a way. And then when we think about what we just had, the full moon in Capricorn, the eclipse that just happened, right? That is tapping into your 12th house, which 12th house energy can be difficult because that's all about your ideals. It's about dreams. Again, going back to like solitude, illusions, all of that. It's Pisces shit, right? So it's heavy. It's a little bit darker. And it requires us to really go deep within and really kind of figure out. So I think a lot of you guys are in that space. And again, it feels like, even though I don't feel like love is necessarily the priority, I feel like it is for you. I feel like this is more really about your work and really more about your mental health and getting you fully on track. Now, what I do love is your last card is Queen of Swords. So this is you guys stepping into your power. This is showing that you guys are coming into this place of feeling very evolved, right? She wears the crown of butterflies and she calls you on your bullshit. Queen of Swords does not play with anybody. She expects, demands, commands, and always reciprocates truth, right? She's very clear on what it is that she wants, and she calls people forward on their shit, you know? Now, you guys are starting out with the Page of Wands, Lovers, and Ace of Cups. Now, I do feel like there is a strong emphasis on family. A lot of you guys might be really taking this time to really get close with the kiddos and doing stuff like that. So that's really, really good. There may even be some travel that's coming into play or that you guys are planning on right now. I don't feel like you're necessarily moving on a travel plan, but there feels like there's travel involved. Now, this Lovers is interesting because this is Gemini energy. And like I said in the very, very beginning, it feels like some of you guys are dealing with someone who's sometimes hot and sometimes cold. Now, if you are dealing with a Gemini, that would totally make sense to me. I feel like Geminis and Sagittarius are probably the most commitment phobe signs in the zodiac. Not saying that they can't ever fall into a relationship, but if a Gemini falls for you and commits to you in a relationship, or a Sagittarius does, you know they really care about you. You know they really love you. You know they're really trying. But really, when the Lovers comes, okay, of course, it was originally called the choice. So there may be a choice that you guys are having to make between two people or just two paths in life. But beyond that, whenever we get the Lovers, that is indicating that we've come to a place of love for self, love of humanity. It's bigger than just a romantic love. It's bigger than just a fantasy. It's also about things coming to light and being exposed, right? Us understanding what's going on. We've got the sun right there. So everything's always brought to light with the sun, with the exposure. It's also about the vulnerability. You know, vulnerable you have to be to stand butt naked, just standing there in the daylight with somebody. I don't care how long you've been with them. There's a vulnerability that comes with that. And there's also a shedding of skin that comes with that, right? As we see with the snake. Snakes to me represent that shedding of the skin. And the Ace of Cups, of course, we know this is a blessing. This is something beautiful coming forth. Could be a love offer. But it feels like you guys are dealing with someone who's very hot and cold. One day you think things are good and on the upswing and, oh, maybe we'll figure this out. Maybe we'll push past this hurdle. Or let's say if it's an ex that you're still trying to kind of entertain and figure out. One day things are great, and then the next you're kind of like, I don't know. Oh shit. Yep. Okay, Page of Wands is being clarified by Five of Wands. Whenever we talk about Five of Wands, we're talking about the inability to move on something, the inability to take action on something. So I hope you guys aren't having any feuds with your significant others or your the mother or father of your children, but that could be a thing. There could be a little bit of misunderstandings or beefing going on with that. So just be mindful of that. Try not to fight over things that don't matter. Like pick your battles, really, is what I'm saying. Because with that Aries being in Mars too, I'm sorry, with that Mars being Aries as well, like a lot of more people are spicy right now and fights can easily happen. So just be very mindful of how you move, what you say. Take the extra 3 seconds to think something through with all that. Now, interesting, we've got the Lovers card being clarified by the Judgment card. Judgment for me is Scorpio energy or Libra energy. Scorpio energy because it connects to the notion of the death and the rebirth, and then the Libra energy because there is that kind of like judgment factor. Now it's interesting this being teamed up with the Lovers, so there could be a choice that you guys have to make between two people, but this could be a choice in, you know, am I going to choose me right now, or am I going to choose to be whatever this is for this relationship or whatever, right? And with the Six of Pentacles, talking about the Ace of Cups, this has a lot to do with balance in your love relationship. So again, it could have been that balance was or continues to be the Achilles heel of a certain relationship between you and someone else. Maybe you guys just can't seem to get together. Maybe there's someone who, whether it's you or them, always feels like they're giving to this situation or giving to the relationship, or they feel like the other person is not. There's a lot of Libra energy here too, because even though Pentacles is Earth energy, in the original depictions, you always have the, you know, that person who's holding the Libra scale, and then we do have the Judgment, which I said for me is Libra, Scorpio energy, but it could be really any signs. I just feel like there is this teeter-tottering. There's a lot here about balance, right? The Lovers, Judgment, Six of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles. There's a lot here about balance and not being, you know, having a hard time balancing out the things, having the chaos surround you, whether it's external, you know, influences of like you guys literally beefing with other people, or whether it's internal influences of like you guys can't get over certain things, right? What's interesting is Four of Cups comes next, then followed by the Four of Swords, and then followed by the Hangman energy. Four of Cups is actually what's sitting in your environment. So again, going back to, it feels like you got someone that you're dealing with that sometimes they're just all lovable and in your face and things are great and things feel like, oh, we can really move forward. And then sometimes it's like they feel very indifferent, or they feel like they don't want to commit, or they feel like they're just not interested, or, right? It just feels like whatever you're working on, Aquarius, sometimes you feel confident in pushing towards it because you feel like you know what you can do. And then sometimes you feel like, I don't even know if this is the move anymore. And you know why? Is because this person is confused themselves. That's the thing about when you're dealing with other people. Nothing is ever a sure thing because everyone has free will. But if you're dealing with someone who doesn't even know what they want, like there's nothing you can really do with that. Eight of Swords energy is about someone being stuck in their own mental prison. This is someone who stuck themselves there. This is someone who's overthinking everything, or feels, you know, maybe they're a little bit more pessimistic naturally and they just feel like something bad's going to happen. They just feel like someone's always against them. I feel like you guys might be dealing with someone who, it could just be like really defensive all the time. And that could have to do with why y'all just weren't vibing, and why you guys just couldn't feel like you couldn't get it together, because maybe they just kind of felt like a dark cloud over your shit all the time. This Four of Swords and Hangman are very significant for you guys right now. Again, especially in terms of relationships, I don't really think the move is to move on anything. I think you'd be better off this month just kind of taking a break from things, separating so that you can mentally get yourself together, because I feel like the person that is opposite of you is going up and down a tree and you cannot continue to chase them up. You don't even know what's up and what's down, right? Look at all this purple that's in both the cards. That's connected to the 7th chakra, right? That's all about the knowing. That's the connection to source. This is when we pray and we meditate and we get clear and we take the time out, right? Four of Swords comes after Three of Swords. Three of Swords is all about that heartbreak, all about that disappointment, all about coming to a place where we're mending ourselves. And for you guys, I think that's what this has to do. I think some of you guys are willing to kind of go up and down the street with someone because just like they don't know what they're doing or they don't know what they want, you might not either. Our partners always mirror ourselves in some ways, and sometimes that shows itself differently, but it's always a mirror. Now, Hangman energy, this is Pisces energy. Maybe you guys are dealing with the Pisces, but this is about things kind of being on pause or on hold, being stagnant. This is about you guys taking out this time to meditate and do for you and focus on your work and other things so that things can become clear, because I just feel like there's information that's missing, and maybe that's part of the problem. You know, maybe you guys feel like someone was holding something back, a truth from you, or just whatever. But whenever we get the Hangman energy, we know that we are stuck in a tree upside down because there's something that we're missing. There's a missing piece of this puzzle. There's something that we're not understanding. There's a need to look at the situation from a different perspective. Yes, right now the focus is you, your work, your mental health, your physical health, your grounding. It's not about anybody else. It's about you. 9 of Pentacles, homegirl takes care of herself. Look, her hair is healthy. It's thick. Her skin is glowing. She's surrounded by all this beautiful, lush garden. Even the animals love her, right? She's got her coins up together. This is a time for you guys. The wheel is turning. And maybe this is slow coming, even though, you know, the Wheel of Fortune is like Jupiter energy, which is very expansive and usually kind of quick. It's slow moving. The wheel moves slowly. I think things are slowly coming together, but you guys might be getting a little frustrated in it because all while this wheel is turning and all this stuff is coming together slowly, you're still here trying to juggle. I think you'd be better this month. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but it looks like you need to just take a couple steps back from whatever is plaguing you, especially if it's somebody else, it's something external. If it's something beyond what you can actually physically control, Your best bet, look at here. Four of Swords, and then we have the Hangman. Then we've got the Four of Swords clarifying the Hangman. This moment of pause, this moment of separation you guys are experiencing from someone, it's absolutely, positively, 100% necessary. And I know not all of you guys are going through this month. Remember, this is a general reading. But for those of you who are, it's necessary. You got Eight of Pentacles, you got King of Cups, you've got Queen of Swords. Eight of Pentacles, all about work, right? And working on ourselves. This isn't just about physical, actual work. This isn't just about actually making money. This is about self-work too. Again, I told you, you know, that sixth house energy that you guys are in with this Cancer season, it has a lot to do with not only your work and your job, but this has to do with your health. And health is extended to mental health as well. That is the priority this month. That's the priority right now in terms of relationships. I think, you know, flirting and keeping things fun and light, fine. Also with Mercury retrograde, especially if you were meeting someone new, I wouldn't jump into a full-blown relationship with anybody, right? Things don't usually stick right now. Right as I say that, Knight of Wands. So this might be a time that you guys, especially if you are single, that you are dating, or maybe this is a time that you guys are going to be finding yourself that you'll be opening up to the idea of that, right? Nine of Cups, following what makes you happy, because I think a lot of where you guys are having issues is, you know, with this balancing of what do I do, it's you already know what you want to do. It's you fighting against it. Even with the Lovers, whenever we talk about that being the choice, you already know what you love. Either you're going to go for it or you're not. It's kind of like that same energy. So right now, this month, prioritize you, I think. Because, again, there's a lot of emotions going on right now. A lot of people are all over the place. With that Mars and Aries, people are fiery. With this Cancer season, people are emotional. We're going to have a new moon in Cancer coming up on the 20th. And that's going to be emotional as well, but beautiful new beginnings possible. Page of Wands, clarifying the King of Cups. Three of Swords. Messages. You got two Page of Wands. There's definitely a message coming in. It could be from someone that you previously dated. Three of Swords could be an air sign, Cancer, I'm sorry, Libra, Gemini, or another Aquarius. You got the Star card underneath this. So there's hope and healing. Someone might, yeah, I don't know. This feels like that, that wishy-washy kind of back and forth energy. And pages too, I want, you know, if we're talking about this being a person, this is someone who could be younger than you, but this is like just a young energy. It's not an elevated energy. So this is someone who might go back and do the back and forth instead of sitting in the pain or sitting in the present of whatever it is and dealing with it, and instead of dragging someone in. Because I feel like there's someone that keeps pulling you back and forth emotionally. And with us being in that Cancer season, and we're talking about water and emotion, and you guys can get easily kicked up underneath that wave right now. Because I feel like you're already kind of out of your element. We are in, you know, the Mercury retrograde, which I was telling somebody, I can't remember, but a lot of times Mercury retrogrades for me, we often fall on our opposite go-to. So like, let's say if I'm more of an emotional person normally, then I end up being a little bit more logical and pragmatic during Mercury retrogrades. Same way, if I'm more of a logical thinker and pragmatic thinker, usually Mercury retrogrades will have you a little bit more in your feels. So we're already a little bit flip-flopped and topsy-turvy. It feels like this person keeps coming back in and out, and it's just because I don't feel like they have the maturity, like the emotional maturity, to sit in one position and deal with it how you need to deal with it, right? But I feel like you'll be calling them out and calling, because I feel like there's only so much you can take. This Two of Pentacles energy and this do I stay or do I go, do I do? You guys have been feeling this for a while. We were talking about this last month. So it almost feels like this month you're like, look, okay, I can't. Like, What is it? Tell me, and tell me plain. Okay? Because, what do you want? I'm not playing around here. I'm thinking about future. 10 of Pentacles. I'm thinking about my family. I'm thinking about my coin. I'm thinking about my legacy. So are you going to be a liability? Or are you going to come here and sit down and shut up and we're going to do this? Hangman. This is a waiting period, man. Chariot. 6 of Wands. So you're going to have a victory either way. Whether this person stays or goes, let me see if I can clarify this even more. We keep getting outcome cards of like the waiting. 4 of Wands. Justice. So some of you guys, this actually, all of this happening could actually lead to something very promising in terms of you guys making this a full-out commitment. Some of you guys might have been like, this could have been the problem before. Like, let's say you're in a long-standing relationship and maybe, you know, you're like together for a long time, and let's say like you're waiting for someone to propose to you and it's been like 10 years and 3 kids later and you still ain't got no ring or something like that. And it's almost like, because that could have a lot to do with why this feels so hot and cold too. Like someone who loves you, but they feel like they just like, well, where is this going? Because what, I'm just going to, you know, play in house with you again type thing. I don't know. But the Queen of Swords, 4 of Wands, and 10 of Pentacles, I think you guys are going to be having some serious talks about legacy and about moving forward and what that looks like and what you want to do as a family. And then you've got the Justice card at the bottom of the deck, which a lot of times talks about marriage too. Also Libra energy. A lot of you guys are connected to Libras, which that's interesting. I have a brother who's an Aquarius, and I love y'all no shit, but I would never date any other air sign. That's just me. If I could help it. You know what I'm saying? If I could help it, no. Like, love air signs as friends. If I could help it, no. It's just always, my experience with air signs romantically has always been like a battle of who the fuck is smarter, and I'm not doing that. No. So, I don't know. I don't know if that's been you guys' experience, but I can't. But it feels like this is a month where, again, whatever you guys have been going back and forth on, and it's been driving me a little bit crazy of where do I stay, do I go? You're going to be calling it out and having the talk that you need to have this month. And you know what? I think with the Mercury retrograde being in Cancer, I think that kind of actually allows people this month to talk a little bit more openly about their emotions, whereas maybe in the past you weren't ready. Okay. Now, 2 cards. You've got Take a Divinely Guided Chance and Visualize Abundance in All Forms. Okay. All positive change and successful ventures involve a degree of risk, and you are ready to follow your divine guidance to new territories. As you leave behind that which is comfortable and familiar but no longer appropriate for you, you make room for new and more meaningful opportunities. Yes. Take a chance. So even if the take a chance is like, take a chance and have the conversation that is uncomfortable, you don't want to have, do it. Because at least you'll know, even if it were to, worst case scenario, blow up in your face and this person says, I don't want to fuck with you anymore, at least you would know and you could move on, you know? Okay, so then you've got Visualize Abundance in All Forms. It says, God gave you such great spiritual power that everything you visualize eventually becomes reality. Hold a steady vision of that which is beautiful, helpful, positive, and filled with blessings. And that is what you will experience. So being very mindful of what's on your mind, right? Because thoughts become things. So if you want better, if you want to have this abundance, it all starts here in the mind. Start visualizing, maybe affirming, doing different affirmations or exercises so that you can start to see more of that in your life, right? Now, 3 of the romance oracle cards or angels cards came out. So you've got Flirt, Children, and Make the Effort. Make the Effort says, great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. Boom. Children, your love life is being affected by children. Again, I felt like some of you guys, this is like you're dealing with your son or daughter's mother, son or daughter's father, kids, plural, parent, whatever, your family, your second family. And then you've got Flirt. Extend your lighthearted energy to others. So take it easy, get into that lighthearted energy, flirt, have fun with the dating. Don't take it, You know, don't let it mentally abuse you, but be very upfront. If you're starting to feel like you're doing too much of this back and forth thing and it's driving you crazy, and 1 minute somebody seems hot and somebody seems cold, like, hey, pull out that Queen of Swords and get to business, honey. Right? So I love you guys. If you would like a personal reading, you can email me at shesvibeytarot@gmail.com. Please go to my About tab first. Look at the menu of services. Decide what reading you want, and then email me, and then we can get the ball rolling, okay? I love you guys. I'll see you next month. Bye, Aquarius.